Silence is not passive. This is where most people misunderstand it. They believe silence is retreat. They believe it is submission. They believe it is avoidance. That belief alone is why they will never hold power. True silence is active restraint. It is the conscious decision to withhold when expression would weaken you. It is discipline over impulse. And discipline has always terrified the undisciplined. Look closely at history. The loud ones were remembered for moments. The quiet ones shaped eras. Because silence does something words never can, it forces others to move first. And whoever moves first exposes themselves. Most people cannot tolerate uncertainty. Their minds itch when outcomes are unclear. They rush to resolve tension, even if resolution costs them leverage. Silence weaponizes that weakness. When you stay quiet, people assume you are calculating. They assume you know something they don't. They assume there is depth beneath the surface, even if there isn't yet. And perception is power long before reality catches up. This is why silence works even before you fully master it. There is another truth few talk about. Silence protects future versions of you. Most damage caused by words is not immediate. It compounds. A sentence spoken today becomes context tomorrow. A confession today becomes leverage later. A reaction today becomes a reputation forever. People do not forget what you reveal when you are emotional. They store it. And when circumstances change, they retrieve it. Silence denies them that archive. This is especially critical in the modern world. Everything is recorded. Everything is permanent. Everything is replayable. The past used to fade. Now it follows. One careless sentence can outlive a decade of discipline. Silence is not just strategy anymore. It is survival. Now understand this. Most people think power comes from being understood. This is false. Power comes from being unreadable. The more people think they understand you, the easier you are to manipulate. They know how to flatter you. They know how to provoke you. They know how to control you. Unreadable people are difficult to influence. This is why silence unsettles manipulators. They cannot mirror you. They cannot bait you. They cannot predict your response, so they grow frustrated, and frustration makes people sloppy. Silence does not expose you, it exposes them. Another uncomfortable truth, talking excessively is often a form of begging. Begging to be understood, begging to be liked, begging to be validated. Silence breaks that dependency. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop negotiating your worth. You stop asking permission to exist as you are, and people feel that shift immediately. They may not articulate it, but they sense it. Your presence becomes heavier. Your absence becomes noticeable. Your words become anticipated. Now consider this carefully. Silence also gives you time, time to observe, time to assess, time to decide. Most people speak before they think. You will think before you speak. That single reversal places you ahead. While others react emotionally, you respond strategically. While others reveal intentions, you collect intelligence. Silence turns conversations into surveillance, and information is the real currency of power. This is why leaders ask fewer questions than listeners, and why listeners control rooms without raising their voice. There is also something deeply psychological happening. When you stay silent, people unconsciously try to earn your response. They elaborate, they justify, they overshare. They feel the imbalance and try to correct it by giving more. This is why silence makes people talk themselves into mistakes. They assume silence means disapproval. They rush to repair it. And in doing so, they reveal exactly what they were trying to hide. Silence does not pressure them. Their own mind does. Now ask yourself this. How often have you spoken simply to avoid being uncomfortable? How often have you filled space because silence felt awkward? How often did that moment of comfort cost you later? Discomfort avoided today becomes consequence tomorrow. Silence teaches you to endure discomfort now so you don't suffer later. This is why mastering silence feels difficult at first. Your nervous system is addicted to expression. It equates silence with danger. But that addiction is learned, and it can be unlearned. The first stage of silence feels like anxiety. The second stage feels like control. The third stage feels like dominance. Very few people reach the third. Most retreat back to noise. They cannot stand being alone with their thoughts. They cannot stand being unvalidated. They cannot stand not being reacted to. You must learn to stand it, because once you do, others will feel small around you without you saying a word. Silence also teaches you something brutal about people. You begin to see who only engages when they can extract, who talks only to be heard, who grows uncomfortable when they cannot control the narrative. Silence filters relationships naturally. Those who respect you stay, those who used you drift away, and that alone cleans your life. Understand this deeply. Silence is not about manipulation. It is about self-possession. It is about owning your inner world so completely that nothing external forces a reaction. When you reach that state, people feel it. They feel they cannot rush you. They cannot pressure you. They cannot corner you. And when people cannot control you, they respect you, even if they don't like you. Now imagine this applied daily. Meetings where you speak last or not at all. Arguments where you disengage without explaining. Victories you celebrate privately. Plans you execute quietly. Over time, something changes. People stop testing you. They stop probing. They stop assuming access. You become someone whose silence carries weight, and weight is what bends outcomes. This is the final shift. Silence moves you from participant to observer, from reactor to strategist, from exposed to insulated. You stop leaking energy. You stop bleeding authority. You stop educating your opposition. And slowly, without announcement, you become untouchable, not loud, not aggressive, not theatrical. Untouchable because no one knows where to strike. That is the power Machiavelli understood. Not cruelty, not noise, but control, control of self first. Everything else follows.